Hello, hello. Welcome back. My name is Danae Wolf. I am a financial literacy coach and a profit strategist, which means that I help ambitious entrepreneurs like you increase your profits and decrease your stress by taking control of the money in your business and stop allowing it to control you. I do that through my program, Profit Perfect. Profit Perfect is your one-stop shop for all things small business accounting. But don't worry, guys, this isn't the accounting that your CPA learned in school. This is not textbook accounting. It's entrepreneurial accounting, which is all about making money. And that's why you got in business, right? So the program will walk you through everything from how to use QuickBooks Online to how do taxes really work, cash flow, S Corp, LLCs, all the things. I have put a tremendous amount of value in there. And because I know this stuff can be really confusing, I also host weekly Zooms with my students. So you guys can hop on and ask me a question. It's great to get FaceTime with you guys and really be there if you need any help. And you can take the course this summer and hop into a Zoom call next summer. Those Zoom calls never run out. So it's a really great program. And if you are interested in taking your financial literacy to the next level, I'd love to see you in Profit Perfect. Yes, that's a shameless plug, but I'm passionate about the program and I want to get as many entrepreneurs in there as possible. Now, today we are live streaming into my YouTube channel as well as my Facebook group and business page, and we will download this audio and put it onto my podcast as well. So we've got lots of places for you guys to be able to listen or watch whatever floats your boat and makes you happy. Now, today we are talking about a topic that I absolutely love. And if you're here, I'm assuming you love it as well. So please let me know in the comments. The more you guys engage with my content, just putting it out there and being honest, right? It helps the algorithm, right? If they believe that it is content that people like and engaging with, they are going to give it to more people. Well, why do we want to give this to more people? Because I think it's good content for entrepreneurs to know and it's completely free. So let's help spread the word. So I would really appreciate any type of engagement you guys could do. And if you're listening on the podcast, please subscribe and leave a review. That will majorly help. Now, let's talk about today's topic. So today's topic is time is money. All right. Now, when we think about life, right, and we think about currency, the two biggest ones, we've got time and we've got money. But here is what is so important, right? Only one of them is finite, right? You can't make more time. You can always make more money, but you can't make more time. And I obviously, if you're following me, you know, I really preach like it all roads lead to money, right? Money makes the world go round. But I want to also make sure that I really explain the important connection between time and money, because I think a lot of times on my channel, I talk so much about the importance of money. And then we get into situations where entrepreneurs make some foolish decisions because they're strictly looking at it through a money lens. So what I want to make sure is that you guys understand the relationship between time and money. Because I'm sure you've heard, right? Time is money, right? People say that. So what exactly do we mean by that? Well, I think when we are coming from a place where our emphasis is on saving money, because we're making it all about the money, right? So we're saving money. So now we're putting ourselves in a situation in our entrepreneurial journey where we're looking at everything through the lens of, I have to save money. I can't spend money. I have to save money. Instead, you need to be looking at the lens of, I need to make money. All right. So these are very, very different thoughts, right? You can come from a place of, I need to save money, or you can come from a place of, I need to make money. A healthy dose of both is good, right? I don't want people who are just running out spending everything, right? But just because you're coming from a place of I need to make money as opposed to I need to save money doesn't mean that you're not saving, right? So trying to be as, I don't want to say politically correct because it's not a political thing, but trying not to be rude, I'm basically saying, like, don't be cheap. I'm trying to say that in the best way possible, but that's really what I'm trying to say, because when we are coming from a place of, I just want to save money, number one, that keeps you stagnant, right? That is a very different mindset when we are just saying, I need to save money, save money, save money. And you guys can really think about this in a way of, if you are an entrepreneur who's saying, I need to save money, then you might not want to run that Facebook ad campaign. You might not want to take my course, Profit Perfect, and invest in your financial education, because you are looking at everything through this lens of, I need to save money. But when you look at it through the lens of, I need to make money, I need to make more money, now you are looking for ways to invest and make more money. And it's important that you understand how time factors into this. So I want to go over some common mistakes that I'm seeing entrepreneurs making when they don't quite understand the relationship between time and money. So something that I see happening a lot is people are not using a CRM. So a CRM is a customer relation management tool, right? Now, the reason that they're not using it is because they want to save money. But what they are failing to see is that it's causing a complete inefficiency in their business, which is actually costing you money. So, as a very basic example, if you take a look at Dubsado, which is what we use in my company, it allows us to automate the process of onboarding new clients. So with the click of a button, we can get the contract out the door, get the invoice out the door. Everything is there and ready to roll with us. And all we had to do was click a couple of buttons. If I did not pay that monthly fee, I'd be in a situation where for each client, I'd have to get the document, the contract, download the template, get their name put into it, email it to them, wait for them to sign and scan and send it back to me. So now I'm not making it convenient for my customer either, right? Because they've got to sign this, scan it, and get it back to me, because I didn't want to pay the money for something that allows them to DocuSign, right? So that they can easily pay and sign from their smartphone. So when we do these things because we're just trying to save money and we're not considering time, it's really a disservice to our company. So we want to make sure that we're really looking at our business and saying, what are the things in place right now that I'm doing because I want to save money? Okay. I want you to start there. And I want you to really think about that. So CRM is the first example I gave. The next example I want to talk about is not outsourcing things that aren't in your zone of genius. So for me, as a personal example, I am really bad at Canva, which means that it takes me a very long time to make any type of graphic that I need for social media. And for a while there, I had about 5 or 6 months, guys, where I didn't make any content. And one of the reasons why my content wasn't put out is because I was one person and I was trying to do all these things, such as make the content, get everything scheduled in the apps. And these are all things that are not in my zone of genius. So I put them off. It wasn't something that came naturally to me. So it took me 3 times the amount of time that it should have. And it just became really just not sustainable. So I pulled the plug and I didn't create content for about 5 or 6 months. And I can tell you thus far, it was the biggest professional mistake I ever made. And I'm saying thus far because it'll happen again. I'll definitely have another very big professional mistake, but I'll tell you what, it won't be that one. It'll be a different one, because I learned from my mistakes, as we all should, because as entrepreneurs, we should always be teachable, right? So I learned the hard way. I needed to stay in my zone of genius. And because I was trying to do something that wasn't in my zone of genius, it didn't get done. Because let's face it, when we get busy, what's the first thing we're going to get rid of? Something that doesn't come easy to us, right? But in our company, the things that we do and, show up and do consistently are the things that come easy to us, the things that are natural to us. me sitting down and recording this and talking to the camera and talking about and teaching about things that I'm passionate about comes very easy to me. I can do this every week like clockwork, no matter what, unless I lose my voice. But creating graphics, no, not going to happen because it's not going to come easy to me. So when my life gets hectic, I'm getting rid of the things that are hard. And it was a big disservice to my company. And I want you to really take a look and say, what are the things in my business that I am doing that I shouldn't be doing? And if it's not in your zone of genius, you shouldn't be doing it. Because number one, you're going to drop the ball on something because we can't do all the things. We can't wear all the hats, right? So you're going to drop the ball on something, but also, what about the collateral damage? And what I mean by that is when you are pulled out of your zone of genius, that causes damage to your company. Okay. Your secret sauce, your zone of genius is what keeps the light on. For me, here, it's making my content. That is how I get new clients. If I'm not getting new clients, you know what's happening? I'm slowly going out of business. I need people to enroll in my course. I need to get new students every single month. Otherwise, I would slowly go out of business because I wouldn't have revenue. And in order for me to do that, I need to make my content. So it's important that the other tasks that don't have to be done by me, obviously, I have to sit here and film this, right? Nobody else could do this for me, nor would I want them to. But I don't have to be the one who creates the graphic, right? I don't have to do that. So it's really important that you realize if you are being pulled out of your zone of genius, you are damaging your company. So you need to make sure that you're not just making decisions because you're trying to save money. Okay. I want you as an entrepreneur to be thinking about how do I make money? I want to make money. And you guys will see this in personal life as well, right? You have people who work their 9 to 5s and save their money, right? And then you have people who are out there hustling because they're focused on making money. And they're not just saving their money under their mattress, they're investing it into things. And in the end, it's the people who have the money making mindset. Typically, obviously, I'm being stereotypical here, but typically, we see them end up with more money because it's two different zones of the brain, right? You have to stop being a penny pincher and putting the emphasis on saving the money and really saying the goal here is to make money, right? So we need to understand how that correlates to time and how we're spending our time. And if we are not outsourcing the things that have to be done in our business that are outside of our zone of genius, that's a huge disservice to our company. If we are not using a CRM, right, to make things run more efficiently because we're trying to save money, we're hurting ourselves in the long run. You're also really stagnating your growth because typically, if we are doing things to save money in our business, usually that means we're not running an efficient company. And in order to scale, you have to be efficient. If I was doing contracts manually, right, and having to send an invoice every time somebody wanted to enroll in my course, right, that would slow me down. It wouldn't be realistic for me to enroll. I mean, I've got big goals of how many female entrepreneurs I want to learn financial literacy. So I need to make it as easy as possible for them to enroll in this course and start learning. I'm going to be a big bottleneck in the business if every time somebody wants to join, they've got to wait for me to send them paperwork, right? So we really want to make sure that we are looking at our business and saying, where are the areas that I've made the decision simply to save money? And you want to ask yourself, is this making sense? And I want to be clear. There might be a situation where you say, it's not a situation where I'm trying to save money. It's a situation where I don't have the money. And I hear you if you're saying that. But I'm also going to come back and challenge you to say, if you're in a situation where you do not have the money to put something in place that is going to make your business run more efficiently. So let's say you don't have the money to pay for a CRM. I challenge you to look at every component of your company and say, where are the inefficiencies lying? Where am I wasting time? Because there's your money. Time is money. So you might be in a situation where you're not using a CRM and you say you can't afford it. But then we take a look at the processes in your business and see, well, you're paying a VA X amount of hours a week to manually do all these things. And guess what? That CRM could do it more efficiently and for less money. So, a lot of times when we try to do something strictly at looking through the lens of saving money, we create more work, which will create more payroll. So, you're really ultimately paying in one of two ways. Either you're in a situation where you're not using automation, you're not using a software, some type of tech, or you're not outsourcing, you're not hiring a bookkeeper, right? You're kind of cutting these corners to save money, but then you're creating more work in the company. So now inevitably you have to hire someone because you're scrambling and running around and trying to do all the things to save money. So then you end up having to hire someone. But now you have to say, okay, I hired this person, I had to pay X amount of dollars. Well, what if I had just gotten the bookkeeper, the outsourced bookkeeper? What if I had just gotten this software? What if I had done this? And you have to really take a look at it and say, okay, does this all make sense? And even if you're in a situation where you're like, yeah, all the things I need, the bookkeeper and Dipsato and all these things, that's way more than what I would be paying my VA. Well, here's what I challenge you to think then. Let's say that works. That's what works right now. But guess what? The bookkeeper you hire, the Dipsato, the CRM that you would implicate, whether it's ZenMaid, Launch 27, whatever you guys would want to use as your point of sale, those are scalable. VA is one person, right? It's not scalable. Not to mention that when we have businesses who are not running efficiently, that's a lot of stress and wear and tear on your team. And that VA is not going to love that her job is so tedious because the company has made the decision to not pay for a tool that would make her job easier, right? The easier, the more that we can simplify, the more that we can automate, we set ourselves up to scale. Because I have seen entrepreneurs who are making so much money and they're miserable because they are run into the ground, because they are not understanding the relationship between time and money. And they're not taking the time to say, if I outsource this, what could I do? And taking it back to a personal example from my own story. When I made the decision to quit my job after I had my second child, my husband and I made the decision to say, let's make sure that you have a nanny. It was the way we came up with it. We said, you got 2 kids, let's do 2 days of childcare, right? Just so that, I would have some help and I would be able to see, is there something I want to dive into professionally? So I made sure I had that help at home and I was able to snowball my company, right? So had my husband and I sort of said, okay, well, you're quitting your job, so let's not get childcare, right? Let's not get childcare. We're going to save the money. But instead we said, let's spend the money and see what happens if you give it a whirl, right? Because I would have really missed out on something that has turned out to be a huge part of my life, building this company, right? And it all stems from my husband and I making the conscious decision to say, let's invest in childcare. Maybe you'll try this for a couple of months. And we realized we wasted all that money, right? You couldn't make it work. You didn't grow a business, but we would have rather have been out that money and know that I tried than me not trying at all. So you really want to think about that. And when you look at your day-to-day life, right? What are things that are sucking up your time? Silly things like ordering your groceries online and getting them delivered. How much time does that save you? Because what could you be doing in that time? Things that make money. So you need to not just evaluate your business, guys. I want you to evaluate your life. I was on a coaching call the other day and someone told me that they hadn't launched their podcast yet. because they had been too busy. While she was telling me this, she was folding laundry. Now I ask you, is that necessary to fold laundry? No, no, that is absolutely something that can be outsourced 100%. And before anybody gets all pissed off and says, oh, we can't afford for somebody to fold laundry, I want us all to take a reality check, okay? I am talking about you making smart decisions and strategically looking at your life and saying, what are the things that I can outsource so that I can have dedicated time to make money? Look at that in your business and look at that in your personal life. Y'all make time for a lot of things that are not necessary. So maybe you think my suggestion of hiring somebody to do laundry is frivolous. But guess what? In those couple of hours a week that that person is doing laundry, maybe you're able to finally sit down and put together that marketing campaign that's going to bring you dozens of new clients. Maybe you're able to finally sit down and hire that assistant that you really needed in the company to help scale you to new heights. When you start looking at your life through a lens of time is just as important as money, guys, it's a life changer. It is a life changer. When I hired my nanny for those 2 days a week and I said, this is a risk, okay? It is a financial risk, but I am going to do it because I want to give this a whirl. I don't want to try to do all the things. It was a calculated risk and it paid off. I want you to look at your life like that. And I get it. If you're really in a situation where you're like, I can't do that. That's not realistic. I can't do it. I need the business making money before I could get help, right? Guess what? You can still do what I'm saying, but the road's going to be a little bit harder. And I see you and I'm acknowledging that. It's going to have to be something where, you're working through the night. But here's what I want you to know. It's temporary. It's temporary. We can do anything that is temporary, okay? Most of you guys are women who watch this, which means you went through 9 months of maybe for you it was good, but for me pregnancy was rough. All right, 9 months. You have a baby, you can do anything as far as I'm concerned. But I want you guys to really look at it and just say, what am I doing in my business right now to save money? And on the flip side, it's actually costing me time. And what could I do if I had that time? Because when I wanted to do all the things for my content, I couldn't do it. And I didn't put out videos for months. And when I finally said, you know what, that's it. I have to hire, I have to get help. And when I put together my new system, I made sure that when it comes to the marketing, I stay in my zone of genius. I only do what comes naturally to me and I outsource the rest. And guess what? I am almost approaching 1 year of consistency with my content. This August will be 1 year of me showing up every single week. And guys, the impact it's had on my bottom line is tremendous, tremendous. And it's important as an entrepreneur that you are able to say, what is my zone of genius? Be in touch with that. And then say, what are the things that are taking me away from my zone of genius? If I hire someone to help me at my house a couple hours a week, what will I do in those couple of hours a week? I'm not telling you to hire someone and do your laundry so that you guys can go get a mani-pedi. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying to have a plan. Be smart because I always want you to be smart with money. We never want to be frivolous. But I don't want you to also just be dumb with money and look at everything through the lens of I've got to save, I've got to save. No, you need to make. You need to make money. And in order to do that, you need to use your secret sauce, which is your zone of genius. And that is where I want you to stay. That's the lane you need to be in all the time. That's how you're going to scale your company. That's how you're going to make money. So please look at your life through a lens of what are the decisions I'm currently making to save money? Is it or isn't it working for me? Is it serving me? What am I losing out on? As I promise you, if you run some of these numbers, Like another example, because I like to give you guys tangible examples. Somebody didn't want to pay payroll fees, so they were doing payroll themselves. And when I hopped in, they used Asana, which is what I use as well. That's where we keep all of our tasks. I looked at the process for doing payroll, and I could not believe all of the steps and all of the time that went into it. And I said, okay, you do realize that it would actually be cheaper to hire Gusto, which is my preferred payroll provider. They were shocked because they had somebody internally doing it. And when we looked at what the amount of time that person was spending and what they got paid per hour, it was actually costing more than what it would have taken to just pay Gusto to do payroll. And it also saved them even more money because we initially started the call because they needed to hire another person because they had more administrative type stuff to do. But now that person doesn't have to do payroll, they have the time to do the administrative stuff. So I think a lot of times in the beginning, we start off and, we want to make sure that we're not overspending. So we create these systems through the lens of saving money, and we prioritize money over time. But then as the company grows, we continue to do that, and it's no longer conducive to the way we do business. So I hope that this video gave you some aha moments. Please let me know if it did, because this for me was huge in my entrepreneurial journey. Getting to the point of realizing I need to look at me putting money into some things as an investment, right? Because if I pay so-and-so to do X, right, in that time that I have freed up, I can do money generating activities. And that is what you have to ask yourself. So if you are beating your head against the wall, trying to do your own bookkeeping, trying to make your own graphics, trying to do all these things to save money, I want to ask you, what are you losing out on? What are you not doing when you're busy doing the things that you have no business doing? Because that is where you're missing out on the opportunity. And I've had people say to me, hey, I don't do it. All the stuff that I don't want to outsource, I do at night. So I work in my business. I stay in my zone of genius all night, and then I'm up all night doing things. And let me tell you guys something. I did that. I did that for a long time, I pulled all-nighters on a regular basis. And you know what I realized? I might have been in my zone of genius during the day, but I wasn't at my full potential. I wasn't 100%. We're not machines. We can't do that. So while we can do that temporarily, absolutely we can, because we can do anything temporarily, but it cannot be your way of doing business that you just do all the things you don't want to pay somebody to do all through the night. And that's just your norm. Doesn't work. You're doing a huge disservice. And you need to make sure a lot of this entrepreneur game is mental, guys, right? We need to be on point, game face on. And that means you have to be well rested. So I don't love that as a long-term solution. And I know people get judgmental when we talk about, women sort of outsourcing domestic stuff. But guys, I have no shame in my game, and neither should you. If you look at your schedule, and I know it's true because I talk to you guys. I coach female entrepreneurs. I hear you guys saying, I didn't get to do this at work last week because I had to pack for this, or we had, something happened at the house and I had to do this, and I had to, clean and do laundry and all these things. And I'm like, that's below your pay grade. You can find a way. To pay somebody to do that stuff if it's really the reason why you're not getting stuff done that you want in your career. And I think, this idea that, we like to say, oh, well, we can have it all. At what cost, right? At what cost? You can't be doing all the things at your house, all the things at your business, all the things for your husband, all the things for your kids. And you know what? If you exist and that's you, type #unicorn in the comments, because I'm interviewing you, because I want to see, are you doing all those things? Good. But here's my question. Are you happy? Are you happy? Because, we're women. We're tough. We could do it, but we're not going to be happy. And that's just not worth it, right? So I really encourage you guys to look at anything in your life and say, I need to value time as much as I do money. What can I outsource? And that starts from your household and follows through to the boardroom in your company. Think about all the things, what can be outsourced, and then get creative and figure out the money to do it. Because when you get in your zone of genius, you're unstoppable. And with my personal example, how my husband said, we're going to pay for you to have a nanny 2 days a week so you can really give this a shot. Like, he's like, that's the best money we ever spent, because I was able to do it. I was able to get my business off the ground, and I wouldn't have been able to do it. I know people do it all the time and they build a company without having any help, but I wouldn't have been able to do it as fast as I did. I think you could do it. We could do all things, but it wouldn't have been as pleasant of a journey. So I'll get off my soapbox now, but I hope you guys heard me. Time is money, okay? And we can't replace time. So I want you to make sure you are coming from a place of, I need to make money rather than I just got to penny pinch and save money. We're not here to penny pinch our way to success. We're here to scale our companies and make money. And therefore, we really need to look at how our time is being spent. If somebody can come to your house, do your laundry, run some errands, go to the grocery store for you for a couple of hours a week, and you instead spend those couple of hours a week in your zone of genius, girl, you're going to move mountains. It'll all be worth it.